I'm just a small town potter, trying to ghost with your daughter. Hello, you dirty potters. How are you today? So today is a pre-NCECA video. NCECA is the conference that I go to, or rather the convention that I go to every year where all the cool potters meet up. They shake hands, make connections, and we all get to meet each other. And I try and go almost every single year if, you know, the sicknesses don't break out that cancel it for 2 years.
Why are we still here? Just to suffer?
But this year it's on. Here's the thing though, every year I've been going with a group of people that have lovingly accepted both me and Lindsay M. Dillon into their ranks. A lot of them will bring little gifts that they've made specifically to trade and give people at NCECA, and every year for the last 2 years, mine have failed. And the failure rate is crazy, to be honest with you. Every single time I try to make something to give to gifts to like my pottery friends at NCECA, get out of here. They almost always fail. The glazes don't come out right, or the clay doesn't come out right, or they die in mass, and everything else in the kiln is fine. It's like the sacrifice that the kiln gods take in order to make sure the rest of the kiln was good. So I just end up taking like a little bit of mugs that I'm proud of. But this year we're preparing. It's 2 months until NCECA from this very date, and I am going to make something to trade off to my friends at NCECA, and it's gonna be handmade, and it's gonna be sexy, and it's gonna raise your tax bracket. Actually, hold on. It's gonna be handmade and it's gonna be sexy. Do not take financial advice from people who live in their garage. So here's my idea. Almost every single year I make these things and they almost always fail. But over the course of about a year since last time I went to NCECA, I've been working really hard to develop a new line of glazes. And over the course of a year, I generally make about 5 standard glazes for myself in my own work, maybe 4, and then I give 1 out to my patrons. My patrons have already received 1 glaze this year in their recipe. So now it's my chance to show all my friends at NCECA all the recipes that I've made over the year by testing them on test styles. But it's kind of lame to just like bring a test style to the Airbnb house and then be like, look guys, look what I made. And it's like a show and tell for a 9-year-old. So these gifts are going to be all of the new glazes that I have made throughout the year, but in porcelain samples. So I have a hunk of porcelain here, and we're gonna basically make necklaces that look a bit like this so that I can give them out to my friends at NCECA. And we're gonna try really hard not to mess it up this time. We're gonna try really hard. You listen to me, we're gonna try really hard not to mess up. Sorry, I've had pre-workout. I know for a fact there's someone out there right now that's balking at the fact that I'm using like particle board because the texture is going to show up on the back. Disgusting! Like this. I'm just going to grind this down later. I'm just going to sand it down. I don't want to go and get a new piece of wood. I'm just going to sand it down. So this is the stamp that I use for most of my little medallions, and you've most likely seen this on my work at either earthnationceramics.com, which is my website where I sell my work, or you've seen it on Instagram or Glazy if you follow me there for my glaze recipes. But this is one of my favorite things. So I'm going to stamp these in, let the clay rest for a day, and then we're going to take these out. Generally speaking, flat things crack at a much higher rate than things that have like real body and dimension to them. So I'm going to stamp these in, let them rest with some compression over them for about a day, and then I'm going to take them out and slice them out. And even when we slice them out, we're still going to put compression and heavy weight on top of them to make sure that everything stays, because the memory of the clay will flex a little bit like this over time, and I hate that. Oh yeah, that's pretty good. It's pretty good. I think we can go deeper, but that's pretty good right there. Okay, here are the starters. We're not gonna mess with these whatsoever. We're gonna take off the excess clay, the rest back inside the porcelain bag, because I don't wanna waste porcelain, and we're gonna let these rest for 1 day before we actively try to take them out. I don't wanna jump the gun too hard, so I don't wanna make a bunch of them and kind of put my eggs all in one basket. I've never worked with this porcelain before on a slab basis, and this is indeed porcelain, so I wanna make sure that this works like this before I decide to make 20 of them and fail at a 20-person batch instead of just a 6-person batch. So we're gonna put something over this and we're gonna let it rest, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Meanwhile.
I actually haven't made these in quite some time, so somewhere along making them today, I remembered that I'm not supposed to go through the back, even though that's my favorite way to go. I have to go through the front, because if I don't go through the back, I'll end up kind of misconstruing where the hole goes, and I end up kind of putting the hole in the wrong place. It needs to be in between this tree trunk right here, instead of like on the side like this. That this design specifically, I have to go up a little bit, through the trunk, twist, make the hole big enough because we're gonna have 10% or more shrinkage because this is porcelain. Let it rest, and then I have to put the necklaces through. And I know these should not be completely bone dry. They should be about maybe leather hard. They good? Oh yeah, those are solid enough. The key with a lot of flat things to make sure they dry completely flat, but you do want to make modifications where you can when they're in certain drying stages. So if these are in the bone dry drying stage, I can't really carve a hole through them as easily as I would be able to if they were in the leather soft or even leather stage. So I'm going to carve the hole through them now and make a second set of these. So that way you can kind of see what I planned out for these. I'm going to take one, and they should be dry enough to just pop right off. Please don't do this to me. We are on camera. Please do not do this to me. They should be good to just pop right off. So right off the bat, you can probably tell about two things. Firstly, these are not all perfectly even. I don't have a slab roller, I'm just using my potter brain to see how even I can get them. And a lot of them turned out even, and then there's some of them that turned out
Extra thick!
We're gonna let these dry a little bit more. I'm gonna put holes in the rest of them and we're gonna see how they come out. The big challenge for us later down the road is going to be getting this texture off of this. And granted, while some of you probably right now are going, well, just don't use that board anymore, then you don't have to deal with that problem. Any board I use is going to do texture, and any canvas I use or any plastic I use is gonna stick. So I was going to probably sand or grind them down regardless of what I used. So this texture doesn't really bug me, seeing as I'm gonna do a process that gets rid of all texture anyway. But for now, we need to let these dry and put some pressure on them so that they don't become warped later on, because they are porcelain, which means they are more prone to warping than something like rock clay. Cover it up, put the books back on there. Okay, so it's been about a week now, and these have been slow drying diligently. So I think they should be dry enough to go in the kiln, but we do still have to give them a little bit of cleanup. I cleaned up some of them beforehand without you on camera, and so you can see kind of what I'm going for here is a relatively clean hole, not with these little boogers in there, and to wipe off the back a little bit and the round of the circle. I don't want stuff like this. See how the hole is a little bit gunked up and dirty?
Thank you for your patronage.